All right. I want to start to say hello to everybody. I am doing the reset, the nervous system nutrition reset. I'm on day 4 today. Is the first week you eat nourishing foods, all plant-based. We have at least one beautiful meal per day, which is a bowl. And so that's why I made that bowl, is it's a great option when you're doing the reset. And it's a great option for any dinner. You have smoothies and juices and beautiful liquids the rest of the days. And then I also timed it by our moon cycle, because we are going to put in some beetroot powder. Now you could use real beet, so I'm just going to cut it up a little bit. So this is going to give it a little extra sweetness. And then I can add in a little bit of banana and apple. We've got smoothies and lattes to enjoy. All right. I want to start to say hello to everybody. I'm going to start by saying last week I forgot to share the recipe. So here's last week's recipe. It was the golden harvest bowl that we made. And I want to thank Patricia for hanging in there and letting me know that I didn't give the recipe out. So here it is. And all week I've been using the dressing. So I am doing the reset, the nervous system nutrition reset. I'm on day 4 today. And the way the reset works, for anybody who's kind of thinking or interested in knowing, is the first week you eat nourishing foods, all plant-based. And I'm okay if you're not a plant-based person, but during the reset, we eat plant-based. And the first week is about having nourishing foods. We have at least one beautiful meal per day, which is a bowl. And so that's why I made that bowl, is it's a great option when you're doing the reset. And it's a great option for any dinner, for sure. And so I made that. And then you have smoothies and juices and beautiful liquids the rest of the days. And then week 2 is a liquid phase. So this is all about giving your digestive tract a chance to rest. And so the first week is preparing yourself to do an all liquid week, if you can do that. And it's okay if that's too much for you. You could just do whatever is good for you and works for you. I wanted to do liquids this week because next week I'm on all liquids for the week. So I am feeling today very energized, almost too energized. And this is what happens when you do this. The first few days, it's kind of getting used to it. And then after that, it's like, whoo, and I'm like, okay. And I also timed it by our moon cycle, because as women, we tend to be aligned with the cycle of the moon, the lunar cycle. And so we just had the new moon on Tuesday, and the new moon is to start afresh. And between the new moon and 2 weeks from now, when we have the full moon, we are ramping up, we are planning, we are like, if you want to do a project, plan to do your project, starting your planning at the beginning of the new moon, and that 2 weeks ramp up. And when you will be in your best energy around and creativity around the full moon, which is 2 weeks later. So I'm ramping up right now with my energy, and I got to kind of watch and make sure that I'm resting, because that energy is really contagious for me. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I apologize, I forgot to do the recipe last week. So thanks to Patricia again for reminding me. And I've added that here. And so today we're going to do some amazing fall drinks. We're going to do a couple of smoothies, and we're going to do a couple of lattes. And so I was thinking, people go to the coffee shop and they spend a ton of money on these lattes and other drinks that have so much sugar in them. So I was like, what if you could make them at home and enjoy them without all that, not only the cost, but to have nourishing ingredients. So these are all things that are fall based. I got some pumpkin and sweet potato, and it's all about nourishing our body and our nervous system. And which is much better than going and getting a $7. I don't even know how much they are anymore, because I don't do them. if I ever go to the coffee shop, I buy a regular tea, like either a green tea or a peppermint tea. That's like the extent of my coffee shop stuff. So we're going to make some really nourishing things today, easy for anybody to make. And I'm going to start by making some lattes. And I'm hoping I'm going to do this right because I have 4 recipes I want to share. And I wanted to print them all out. I'm just going to be very honest. My printer was not cooperating with me today. So I'll make sure I know roughly what I'm doing, but if I add the wrong ingredients, it's okay because it's still going to turn out really good. So I would start with this beetroot maca latte. OMG, it is so good. Hey, Juju, really great to have you here. And I want to do a shout out to OJ, who's in the house. OJ was working with me, so dedicated working with me for the last 3 years. And she has done this amazing thing. She is gone to Switzerland to study, to do her master's degree. And so I am so proud of her. I have missed her for the last 2 months when she's been getting ready and going to do this amazing program. And she's looking at agriculture and how we can have agriculture that will help with nourishing foods and also healing our planet. So yay, OJ, I'm so proud to have you in the house today.
Thank you. I've missed you too. Glad to be here. Hi, everyone.
Yay. All right. So let's get going. I'm going to move you guys here on our Friday in the kitchen and get going. I'm going to say I think this beetroot latte is my favorite. And it's the easiest too. So I'm gonna put it prepare it in this Pyrex dish or glass measuring cup. Can't have enough of those. So what I've done, I have slowly heated up some oat milk on the stove, and I'm going to use about a cup. I hope I have 2 cups worth here for 2 things. So I'm just going to eyeball it a little bit. Add that. So it's about a cup. And then it's so easy. We are going to put in some beetroot powder. Now you could use real beet. So you could roast a small beet and then take the oat milk and put it into the blender, into your high-speed blender. And then once you've blended it up, then heat it up. And that's another way to do it. But I'm doing the other way, which is this is a beetroot. And this beetroot powder that I found at the store is actually fermented, which means that it's got probiotics in it. Now, I don't know, it would just happen that the store I went to, this is what they had. And I thought, oh, cool. So this is just plain beetroot powder. So all I'm going to do is take a spoon and put just a little teaspoon or so. And I'm just not measuring. I'm just going to put about a teaspoon of that into my warm oat milk. I'm going to add some maca powder. So maca is really great for your nervous system. It's great for a lot of things. It's allows you to, it's kind of a regenerative. And this one that I have, it's called the premium maca. So I went to the store to buy maca powder a while back, and I'm looking, and there's like 10 different kinds of maca powder. And I'm like, oh, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. So I researched it, and there's yellow, red, and black maca. And I bought this, it's raw, so it's a powder. And this is an adaptogen. And adaptogens are like superfoods. They're roots, like different roots and things that are usually put into a powder or a tincture, like a liquid. And they really help. They're not a drug. They're not, they don't do any, but they do give you a little bit of a boost and help with your nourishment. The only thing you have to be careful, a little bit goes a long way. A lot can be damaging. So you have to be very careful. And if you're new to adaptogens, I would start very slowly, just add 1 and see how it goes, and just start with a small amount, like a quarter of a teaspoon. So this maca is, like I said, raw. You can also get it gelatinized, which increases the bioavailability of it. So it can, it will get into your bloodstream and be used by your body more readily. But I bought this one, and I always look for, this is organic. It's also vegan, gluten-free, non-GMO, so all of that. So I'm just going to put a little bit. Now, to me, you can just taste it if you want, but it kind of has a little bit of a vanilla taste to it. Yes and no. I could ask Colleen because she tasted it last week. I'm just going to add a touch of that. So no more than a teaspoon for sure. But start this kind of stuff with the adaptogens, start slow. Don't, just going to put that back on. So don't be doing it like a big amount, because a little bit goes a long way, but a lot, not so much. So I'm going to add in a little bit of cinnamon to make a nice little, I'm just going to sprinkle in some cinnamon. For me, cinnamon to taste. I forgot to get out my vanilla. So let me get my vanilla. I'm going to just put a touch of vanilla. And then you could have it just like that, or if you want, you can add a little bit of maple syrup. And I like my lattes with a little bit of sweetness. So I'm just going to add a little drizzle of maple syrup. Now, if you don't want to use maple syrup, this is the easiest way to do it. But if you don't want to use that, you could actually use dates as well. And all you need to do with the dates is put one in and blend it in the blender. Or if you had like a date paste. But I'm just like, I just want to do a quick one. So this is like everything. And then I'm just going to use my whisk. Now I'm like thinking I should buy a frother so I can really froth things up. They're so good. Whee! And you're just going to whisk it and mix everything together. I got a few lumps in here. I want to get out. All right. And then now, here you go. That was so easy. And you've got this beautiful, nourishing drink that you can use. So that's like, that's it. That's all there is to it. I could pour it in my cup. And I've got a drink. Now you could add, oh, we're going to do this a little later, but we could add some whipped cream to it as well. Ooh. So that's my beetroot latte. How easy is that? And save your money from the at the coffee shop, because it's so easy and nourishing and warming and so good. All right, so our second latte is going to be a pumpkin spice latte. So I'm going to get another measuring cup out, add in my oat milk. Now this one I would put, probably you could add in, I'm going to add in a little, maybe add in a little bit of creamed, what do you call it? Coconut cream would be really nice with this. You could add in some coconut cream to add in. And I'm going to, so for pumpkin, just the easy way to do it, I'm going to add in some pureed pumpkin. So I bought a pureed pumpkin. This one is organic, and all it has in it is pureed pumpkin. There are no other ingredients. So you want to watch that there's no other ingredients. And I'm just going to take a little bit, like a tablespoon or so, a heaping tablespoon, and add that to my liquid. I can add in my warming spices. So I'm going to use, so I don't have, if you have like a pumpkin spice mix, you can use that. I don't have that, but I have, I'm going to add in some cinnamon. Now you can make your own pumpkin spice mix as well, just by blending all the spices together. I'm just going to add in some cinnamon. I also have some allspice here. Oops, I got to do this right. Add in some allspice, little bit, and I've got some nutmeg. You could add in some cloves as well. I'm just doing a little bit of everything. Ooh, I got to add in a little bit of vanilla and a little bit of maple syrup. I can add in some maca powder as well to this. Now I'm going to just do a little turn here. One of the other adaptogens that's amazing for your nervous system is ashwagandha. Now I've got some ashwagandha powder here, so you could do that. And it's the same kind of principle. Now, ashwagandha has a bitter taste to it. It definitely isn't as smooth as the maca. So if you're not used to it, I would start with the maca powder. And you can add a little bit to your smoothie. You could add a little bit to a soup, anything you're blending up, and you won't even notice it, I don't think. At least I don't. So I'm just going to add a touch of ashwagandha here. But again, ashwagandha's got a little bit more of a bitter taste to it. You can definitely taste it a little differently than you would the maca powder. And it's the same thing. Start slow, only introduce one at a time until you're used to it and you feel that it's good. So here we go. Here's my pumpkin spice latte. Just add it in, and you can adjust the flavors for your taste. You can use any kind of plant-based milk that you would like. And like I said, a coconut milk or coconut cream milk would go really well with this. And there we go. We have another one. Now, how easy was that to make a couple of lattes? And again, you can adjust as you wish, right? Now we're going to move on to make a couple of smoothies. So our smoothies. Now, one of the other things you can do is with your latte, you can add some nut butter. So I was researching, and one of the coffee shops that everybody's quite familiar with, Starbucks, what kind of fall drinks do they have? And they have ones with pecans in it. And I thought, ooh, what if we could replicate the pecan latte flavor? And so I looked for pecan nut butter in my store and I couldn't find it, but you could use any kind of nut butter, an almond butter. I bought an almond hazelnut butter. You could use a cashew butter, whatever feels good to you. You could use pumpkin butter. If you have a nut allergy, like pumpkin or sesame seed butter would work really well. Those are great too. So you could add a little bit of that to your latte. You can make a nut butter latte just with the nut butter, the oat milk, or some any kind of plant-based milk, some coconut milk, and all similar ingredients to what I just showed you here. So that's another option. But let's move on to smoothies. And I'm going to start by saying about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was watching some Instagram reels. And I saw one by a doctor who is pretty well known in the plant-based longevity space. I can tell you that he's done PBS specials. He's got a big program. And he was on showing his morning smoothie. And I'm going to say I was really shocked at what he had in it. What was in it was like pretty much only powders. He was using powders. And all those powders might be good. But what I would like to say to you is the first principles of nutrition and nourishing your body is to eat real food. And he didn't put not one speck of real food. Maybe he had I think he used water. He might have used coconut water, but he had all of his powders that he put in there. And I was like, okay, I need to say something, because in my book, nourishing your body starts with eating real food. And so our smoothies, the ones that I do, are all using whole foods. The main ingredients are whole foods. So we are going to do 2 smoothies, and I'm going to use 2 different blenders for you today, because one of the great things about smoothies is you don't need to have a high-speed blender. So I have my beautiful Vitamix here. I just bring it into the picture here. So this is my beautiful Vitamix. That and my chef knife are my 2 best friends. Now that tells you something about me, but these are amazing. And my kids got me this Vitamix for Christmas about 4 years ago, and I've never looked back. I use it all the time. If you are looking and thinking you want to be plant-based, a high-speed blender is like one of the #1 pieces of equipment besides your chef knife that you want to have. Now, Vitamix is an investment for sure. I think in Canada, you can get them at Costco for around $400 when they're on sale, I believe, but it's an investment, totally an investment. You can buy other high-speed blenders that are less expensive. I know Ninja has one that you can get at Costco for under $200. Not sure of the price. My mom has one. I've used it. It's fine. It does everything. I'm not as crazy about it because it has the blades go all the way up. Instead of the blade being at the bottom, the blades go all the way up the vessel, but you get all these canisters so you can make the smaller things and you get that high speed with it. So that's actually what my mom uses, is the little canisters. I also have my little Oster individual blender. This is one that my mom or my daughter bought. And I said to her, why are you buying this blender? I have this beautiful Vitamix. And she said, Mom, I don't want to bring the Vitamix out. I just want to make a smoothie for myself and my drinks. And I just don't want it. So this is an individual portion size. You know, it's one where you put everything in and set it on and blend it. Very inexpensive, under $100. There's the NutriBullet, also works really well. And these are very easy and cost effective if you're not at a point where you're investing in a high-speed blender. And so we're going to make one in each. So we'll start with our pumpkin spice smoothie. All right, because we're on the pumpkin spice track. We are going to start with the pumpkin. So I have, actually, I might start with apple. So we're going to use apple and banana. So I have an apple here. This is organic apple. I'm going to cut it up here. I'm just going to cut about half of it. And then I'm going to add some, you could use all apple, like the whole apple. I'm going to do like half a banana. And I'm going to cut this, because I'm using this smaller blender, I'm going to cut it like into little cubes and add it to my vessel here. If I were doing my high-speed blender, I probably would make it chunks that with little chunkier, because the high-speed blender can just make mincemeat out of it very quickly. So just going to add in some apple. And I'm going to add in my pumpkin. Where's my pumpkin? I had it here. Oh. So here's my pumpkin. And then it's going to add in some beautiful pumpkin here. Yay. Now, when I was doing my raw food chef course, I made a pumpkin pie, a raw food pumpkin pie. And I used like a pie pumpkin, a sweet pie pumpkin. And when I blended it up, I just took the meat of the pumpkin, the flesh of the pumpkin, and blended it up. And it was very coarse, and the texture was very grainy. And I didn't like that texture. I wanted a smooth texture. So the way I got a smooth texture was to first juice the pumpkin and then take the puree from the juice and the beautiful juice and put them back together, and it worked beautifully. But who wants to be doing all that work? So this is why I just like, okay, we could just get a can of pumpkin puree. Make sure it's not pumpkin pie filling, because then it's going to have a lot of other things in it that you probably don't want. So I've got that. I'm going to add in a half a banana. And by the way, bananas, they have lots of potassium. They are amazing for your nervous system. And believe it or not, I was researching, because I have two beautiful dogs that both have anxiety, and giving them a little bit of banana every day works to help to calm their nervous system. So it's something that you can easily do. I'm not a fan of bananas, but I'll have it in a smoothie, and it adds some really nice flavor to it. Now, I'm looking for my dates. I want to add in maybe a date. And of course, I forgot to bring my dates. Yep. All right. I forgot to put my dates out. So here's my dates. Thanks. I'm just going to use one for sweetness. And the reason dates are great if you want to add sweetness to your food. Dates are amazing. You can blend them in. You can just eat the dates the way they are. They're very delicious, and because they're very sweet, almost too sweet, but they're better than regular refined sugar. because they have all the vitamins and minerals and fiber. And with the fiber, you're not going to get that blood sugar spike that you do when you just put refined sugar in your body. So we're going to do that. And now I want to add in some coconut milk to this. Oh my God, I have a squirrel just coming down my window here. They're busy doing their nuts for the year. All right, so I'm going to get my coconut milk here. I put my coconut milk in the fridge because what I want to do is make some a coconut whipped cream. So I'm going to just separate it. So this is coconut milk. And what I'm going to do is separate the cream from the milk. And we'll put the milk into our smoothie and use the cream for our whipped cream. So I had this in the fridge, or I keep it in the fridge overnight or in the freezer. Do it probably like about an hour. I've got instructions in the recipe. So I'm just going to use a strainer to take out all the beautiful cream. Will stay on top, and I'll whip that for our lattes and our smoothies. And the other part, the coconut milk that goes in the bottom, I'm just going to stir this a bit. That I'm going to, this beautiful coconut milk. So I have the coconut cream and the coconut milk. Add it here. You didn't get too much coconut cream. But we'll use it. You can add the coconut cream for your lattes or your smoothies after. And I'm just going to add some of this into here. So I've got a beautiful, rich liquid here. And I'll keep this in case. All right. And all I'm going to do is blend this up. See how it goes. Oh, I forgot my spices. All right. Let me put in some. Now, again, the same, you could use a pumpkin spice. I saw Juju said she makes her own pumpkin spice. It's very easy to make your own. I'm just using some allspice, some nutmeg, and then I'm going to put cinnamon. You could use cloves. You can use ginger. All those are beautiful warming spices. They get your blood flowing. They nourish your nervous system. And they taste good too, most people. And also, yeah, that's amazing. Okay. So now I'm ready to go. And this one, you just put it on the stand and blend. Got to shake it up. I probably could use some more liquid too. Keep going here. All right. I'm going to add a little more liquid and maybe see if I can swish it around a bit. Looks good already. And see if I can just move some of these apples around. They're at the bottom. One of the ways you can avoid what I've got here is to take put the apples in last. For this one, it's on the bottom. When you're looking at your Vitamix, we'll get it closer to the blades. All right, so I'm just going to add in a bit of oat milk here to smooth it out. One of the things, that's why an individual one works really well, because for me, yeah, I like to go overboard and make a whole. All right, a little more, shake it up. Now it's going. Yum. All right, and now should be good. Let me get my cup. Forgot to get my cups out. I have a cup here. Open this up. Now you can make it as liquidy. This is pretty thick. I think I still should blend it a little more, but this is, you can tell here, you got this beautiful pumpkin spice smoothie. Now you can know that what we had for, we put in vegetables and fruits, whole food. So our vegetable was our pumpkin. We are adding in our pumpkin, and then we have apple and our banana as well. So we're using whole foods and the coconut cream as well. Beautiful whole foods. So that's number 3 drink. Yum. And whew, that's about it. Woo! I wanted to show you how to do the whipped cream. So I'm just going to add this back in, a little bit of this. So if you try and separate out the cream and have it chilled, you can add a little bit of maple syrup. And you could do a date paste too, but maple syrup, because it's liquidy, is good. You're going to add in a little bit of vanilla. Oops, maybe a bit much. And move these dates out of the way. I have my beater. We used the beaters 2 weeks ago, little hand beaters. This is my grandmother's, rest in peace, my grandmother, that I got when she passed away. I mean, this thing must be 70 years old, I bet, but it still works. And I'm just gonna, I cooled the beaters before I started. And this is a great way to make coconut whipped cream. This is like my new find. I love it. So you're just gonna whip this up for a minute or two. Okay, so this one is a little bit, it's a bit runny. It should be okay, but I think I put a little bit too much of the vanilla in there. So it's a bit on the runny side, but you can still add it to your lattes and you're gonna add it to my latte here. Now you can buy like coconut cream, and I actually did buy a coconut cream. So you can add that there. I did buy a coconut cream, but you have to watch because some of them have emulsifiers in them. And the emulsifiers keep the cream from separating from the kind of the milk. And then what happens is it will not blend. So that you have to watch as well. So you want to make sure you're getting a good coconut milk that's or cream that's pure. So I'm using Chaw's. Do I have a Chaw's here? That's a Canadian brand, but I understand it's in the US now too. I don't have a sample to show. Oh, here it is. So this is Chaw's. It's organic premium coconut milk. They have a whipping cream and they also have a coconut cream. And for the Canadians, I don't know about in the US, but in Canada, you can get a case of 6 of these at Costco for a really good price. way better than what the grocery stores sell it for. All right. And on that note, I wanted to do one more smoothie, and that's going to have my coconut milk in it. Whereas I'm going to put some coconut milk in it. I'll use that coconut cream I have. And this time I'm going to do a sweet potato. So this is another version. This is going to be like a pecan, sweet potato, whatever. So I baked a sweet potato. This is an organic sweet potato, and I'm just going to cut it up a little bit, add it to my Vitamix. This will be the last one. Lots of stuff today, lots of drinks, but just an idea of what you can do. So if you don't want to use pumpkin or pumpkin spice, you could just add in a sweet potato, or butternut squash works great. So I baked this sweet potato in the oven, so it's soft. I'm going to add in some coconut cream for my base of my liquid. I'm going to add in some of the nut butter here that we have. So this one is hazelnut almond. You could just use almond butter. So I'm just going to add it. So this will give it a nutty flavor. There. So I did a heaping tablespoon. Whee! All right. Splash all over. Now you could use the pumpkin puree. You can also buy sweet potato puree, and this same brand, I noticed at the store, they had sweet potato puree. They also had butternut squash puree. So whichever one you like, you could actually add them in. Going to add in a couple of dates. And just make sure the pit is out. So this is going to give it a little extra sweetness. And then I can add in a little bit of banana and apple. We have it's almost like an apple, you can make an apple pie smoothie here. A little bit of warming spices. So I got my cinnamon here. I'm just going to do the cinnamon, nice amount. And then add in a little bit of vanilla. This is optional, but I love vanilla. I think it's one of my favorites is vanilla. And then where is my banana and my apple here? So I'm just going to add in, and you can freeze your bananas and add them in frozen. The other nice thing is when you're making smoothies and juices, you don't need to make sure that you've got beautiful, if they have blemishes on the fruits, it's okay because they're going to be blended up. But, and so you can actually, if you're on a budget, you can look for the apples and things that are on discount, because it's okay with it's not like you're eating it. And so we add that all in. We might need to add a little more liquid, but let's start. I've got this on now. I'm going to use my big mixer. And where is it? And here we go. All right. As I thought, I should add in a little more liquid here so that can blend up. And if you like your smoothie cold, you can keep it cold stuff, add in the frozen kind of things. All right, that's going to be a nice thick smoothie. Where's my other glass? I have my glass here. Pour in my smoothie. And there you've got some beautiful filling smoothies and lattes to enjoy. The pumpkin spice one and this pecan nut butter one are pretty similar. Just a little bit of difference in the color. We have our beetroot latte here, and I have my pumpkin spice latte here, all ready to go. All right. Oh, so beautiful. All right. Let me see if there's any questions from anyone? Yeah. Beautiful. So you love the pumps. That's great, Juju. All right. And here we go. All right. We are good. I've got my spice. Any questions or anything anybody wants to say besides go Blue Jays? If you're a Dodgers fan, you can say go Dodgers.
Debbie, it's
Yes.
Patricia. I'd like to ask you a question.
Yes.
I'm wondering if a person is a diabetic or used to be a diabetic, are these drinks okay to drink them, to make them?
Yes. Yes. So there's a little bit of a, we talk about diabetics shouldn't have sugar because it increases the blood sugar.
Right.
But these are all whole foods. They're not, and whole foods are good for us. They're going to help to regulate and balance your blood sugar.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and that's a fallacy, I guess, or a myth. I do a Monday myth on that, Patricia, because that's totally, people think that that's not allowed. But anyway, yay, Jane, thanks for joining today. I hope you enjoyed. We have our beautiful,
yes, thank you.
This looks so glamorous, right? Having your pumpkin spice latte in a measuring cup. Let me try my other one. Even if you're diabetic or you have to watch your blood sugar, you're using whole foods. So this is way better and more nourishing. I did the turkey roll, so I'll do the turkey roll. So if you're in the US and Thanksgiving is coming in a month, less than about a month. Yeah, just over a month. Here's a great option for tofu turkey rolls. And then I had one more that I did on my Thanksgiving feast. So I'll put that in as well. Some of the recipes that we use as a family. So there you go, 4 recipes. Very good. All right, if there's no other questions or comments, I want everybody to have a great weekend. Watch the start of the World Series and cheer for your team while all the Canadians are cheering for the Blue Jays. And enjoy.